When the monitors inside an emergency dispatch room suddenly go dark, it rarely signals a simple power failure. Cybercriminals have shifted their focus, moving away from standard financial targets to hunt 911 dispatch centers and police departments. This shift is driven by a calculated economic strategy. While a corporation might endure a week of downtime to scrub its servers, a public safety agency has an absolute zero tolerance for operational pauses. This graph illustrates the concept of inelastic demand in a crisis. For a standard corporation, the willingness to pay a ransom increases slowly as lost revenue mounts. But when human lives are at stake, the victim's willingness to pay spikes to maximum on day one. Threat actors build business models around this timeline of desperation, setting ransom demands based on how quickly a city crosses the threshold of critical system failure. These attacks are not random technological glitches. They are highly calculated economic sieges designed to weaponize a city's legal duty to protect its citizens. To execute these sieges, hackers rarely attempt to force their way through a city's primary security firewall. This system map shows the two primary methods of entry. Attackers bypass the perimeter by tricking an employee through phishing or by exploiting a vendor compromise, using a third-party contractor to slip inside undetected. Attackers then begin lateral movement, quietly branching out to surround core public safety systems without triggering main perimeter defenses. In the execution phase, they deploy ransomware specifically engineered to lock up computer-aided dispatch systems and freeze active police databases. This creates a total dispatch disruption. On the ground, dispatchers lose GPS tracking and the ability to process digital calls, forcing them to revert to blind analog operations using paper and flashlights. This paralyzation is designed to manufacture a life-or-death crisis, moving the municipality into a corner where a rapid financial payout seems like the only way to restore order. The siege then enters a second, more permanent phase: data exfiltration. Secure computer backups cannot resolve this issue. The attackers aren't just locking the city out of its data, they are carrying copies of that data away. The primary targets for theft are sensitive evidence files, including dashcam footage, witness identities, and the records of ongoing criminal cases. Look at this comparison. On the left is a physical evidence bag, sealed to maintain the chain of custody. On the right, the digital equivalent has been compromised. Once these files are stolen, the legal chain of custody is broken, ruining years of investigative work and jeopardizing active trials. This presents city leadership with an impossible ultimatum: pay the ransom or allow sensitive evidence to leak online, potentially letting violent criminals walk free due to compromised data. Stolen evidence transforms an IT outage into a long-term legal blackmail loop, ensuring the attackers maintain leverage long after the network is restored. At the macro level, there is a fundamental difference between a corporation and a public safety agency. A manufacturer can stop its assembly line for a week and lose only profit. A 911 center cannot stop for a minute without risking lives. This strategy reveals a dark cynicism. Attackers view the human mandate to save lives as a predictable market variable, a charming human trait they can leverage to guarantee a payout. Breaking this extortion model requires a city to remove the attacker's leverage entirely. This flowchart demonstrates operational resilience. By building isolated fallbacks, if the primary network fails, traffic shifts to a secondary loop. Maintaining these offlane systems flattens the demand curve, proving the city can endure without paying. Success depends on auditing vendor access, encrypting digital evidence chains, and ensuring emergency response functions even when the network is dark. Defending a city's data infrastructure now functions as a core pillar of modern public safety.